The Farmer. New pickup from Dark Force Entertainment. $4K and Blu-ray combo pack. The film was okay. I wasn't enamored by it. Standard revenge flick. This is a Dark Force release. It just came out. I think these are shipping now for most folks who ordered online way back in November last year. So yeah, The Farmer. So we left off with my Paramount Presents titles the last time. So here is Trading Places. This is a Blu-ray only. I don't have the 4K of that yet. May not need it. There's Primal Fear. Wes Craven's Red Eye. Rough Cut. That's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The Great Chinatown. Z Golden Child. That's Ordinary People with one of the worst cover arts I've ever seen. Fatal Attraction, classic, 1987. The remake of The Haunting. There's Love Story. Last Train from Gun Hill Road in VistaVision. Just Another Girl on the IRT. That's Double Jeopardy. Mommy Dearest. Bringing Out the Dead. War of the Worlds and When Worlds Collide. Vanilla Sky, the remake of Open Your Eyes. To Catch a Thief. And Ghost. Yep, that's my Paramount Presents collection. Here's Pulp Fiction, or a version of. This is a steelbook from Nova Media. It's still sealed, as you can see. Here is the U.S. release of Pulp Fiction on 4K. This is fairly recent release. It's just it's got a rigid hard box, and this is a digipack that opens up like that. Pretty cool. Standard case inside. Oh, it's a UK release. My bad. UK release. I was pretty sure there was a US version of this. There may still be. I'm not sure. Here's my Phantasm box set with all 5 films and a compendium and poster. This is from Well Go USA. Papaya, Love Goddess of the Cannibals. Caribbean Papaya from Shameless in the UK. The Curzon version of Paris, Texas. Very nice release. Digipack. The Prospect. Sci-fi film with Pedro Pascal of the Mandalorian series. Here's yet another import. This is The Proposition from the BFI. This is a Western film. Pretty good. The Proposition. This is with Guy Pearce and Ray Winstone and Richard Hardbox. Here's a version of Pan's Labyrinth. Beautiful steelbook edition. This is another premium label release. I think it's from Kimchi DVD from South Korea. There's Passengers. It's Private Resort, Blu-ray. Poltergeist. Pretty crappy steelbook if you ask me, but thankfully I have this nice slipcase to hide it in from Blockbuster Box Sets. Here's Prometheus. I have the steelbook up in the wall there behind me. That's that. And Punisher. Another slap-on magnetic lenticular piece there. That's the steelbook. This is the 2004 film with John Travolta. This is from Film Arena, Czech Republic. All right, Pandorum. Very good sci-fi movie from 2009. I think produced by Anchor Bay, if I'm not mistaken. This is just a regular release. It's not a steelbook. Yeah, I like to look for the best possible editions, even if it's just a Blu-ray, a standard Blu-ray release. It doesn't have to be a steelbook or 4K, but I do want, for my favorite films, I do want the best possible packaging that I can get, so that I can display it, because it's, the packaging is a big part of collecting, I think, for many of us. I mean, for many of us, right? Not all of us. Some of you guys out there may not care about things like packaging, or but some of us do, and I'm one of those guys. Here's the Passion of the Christ. Here's an old Vista Series DVD collector's edition. This is Pearl Harbor in that faux pilot's notebook case packaging style. Open something like that. And this is an old DVD set, but I do have a Blu-ray inside. The discs are in these little pockets. Not the best style packaging, but as far as protection of the discs, yeah, these are not the best, but that's cool. That's cool collectible to have. This is back when Disney was on fire, releasing a ton of these types of collector's editions. Back in the peak of the DVD era, Back to the good old days. Well, now we have 4K, which is better than DVD, but Disney, as we all know, is not serious about physical media anymore. At least not the way we want them. We want them to be. Here's Planet Terror. Most of these come from South Korea. These are just, the standard editions with slip cases like this. They're from South Korea is where I buy them from. Here's Piranha. Canadian Steelbook. This contains, this was my own combo pack. This is a Piranha 3 Double D. That's the sequel. I do enjoy both films very much. Predestination. There's Lee Marvin in Point Blank. Phantom with David Duchovny and Ed Harris, and my Pirates of the Caribbean steelbooks. That's Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End. I don't think these are in any particular order. On Stranger Tides, and this is Salazar's Revenge, which is the foreign title. I don't know what it's called in the U.S. It's called something else. It's not called Salazar's Revenge, but the movie was okay. Very nice effect, 3D effect. And it's also a magnetic faceplate that comes off. And revealing this gorgeous artwork. That's the back. I'm waiting for these to hit 4K to get to revisit them. I do love all of these films. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and the special effects are amazing. The Postman. There's Prisoners. Pretty in Pink. It used to be a Paramount Presents, but they released it as a regular 4K. And here are my Predator films. That's the first film. These cases are from Blockbuster box sets. He's now doing these cases and artwork, and soon he'll be doing slipcovers for these. And he's also doing the slip cases at some point this year. That's part 2. And Predators. Here's Prey, the recent Disney film. Just a standard case. Here's Panic Room. With a very young Kristen Stewart there. Here's a 2-film collection. This is Perfect Storm and Three Kings. The Bike Messenger movie, Premium Rush. Project Almanac. That's Pacific Heights. The Penguin TV series, HBO series. A Passage to India. Presumed Innocent and Frantic. Passenger 57. Pit and the Pendulum. One of my favorite 80s action movies, The Principal. Here's a foreign version of Pompeii. Pretty Woman. Pulse. Puzzle. Pet Cemetery. rigid hardbox. Won't come out. The film Touristas, under the UK title Paradise Lost. That's a Blu-ray. Paranormal Activity collection, 6-movie collection. The Pianist. Pulse Trilogy. This is from Viavision in Australia. And I have a Planet of the Apes collection here. Here is the 2001 Tim Burton film, which I do enjoy pretty much. Here is, I think it's called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The first film in the reboot series. This is a French steelbook. And the second film in the reboot series, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And the third film, my favorite, War of the Planet of the Apes. Pretty plain looking steelbook. And the fourth film that came out, I believe last year, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I did enjoy pretty much. A very good movie. Here's a film called Priest. Pretty good vampire sci-fi flick. And The Pact, which is, this is The Pact, actually the sequel. I thought I had the original. I must have somewhere. All right, I'm gonna move down for this segment. This is, just to reiterate, this is volume 6 of my complete collection video. And we continue on with Popeye. This is Payback, which has the theatrical and director's cuts. Plane, Poetic Justice, Pale Rider, Point of No Return, Patton, A Quiet Place, Quo Vadis, The Quiet Earth. This is a DVD steelbook released by Anchor Bay. I also have a Film Movement Classics Blu-ray edition. I love this film. I have a third version from Arrow, The Quick and the Dead, Quake, of course my Resident Evil collection on 4K, my First Blood collection on 4K, beginning with First Blood, ending with Rambo Last Blood. Here is Reservoir Dogs steelbook. Here's The Revenant, beautiful edition. This one's really unique, this design here. Rumpelstiltskin, TerraVision. It's a collector's edition rigid hardbox. Of course, Reanimator from Ignite Films and Eagle Rock Pictures. It's the 40th anniversary edition. The Ruins, one of my favorite horror films from the 2000s. Very good film. Here's Reign of Fire, and also excellent film about dragons. I want this to hit 4K really, really badly. That's The Running Man. Steelbook from Paramount. Red Sonja, German Steelbook. It's a 4K. Ran Steelbook. And Ransom. All right. Getting off this step ladder here. Scorched Rose, is that what that's what that translates into? The Scorched Rose, French release. Not exactly sure what film this is, but it's a 4K, and it's from Le Chat Gefume out of France. Here's the Raid Redemption and Raid 2. Good movies. Let's see if I can lower this a little bit. I'm using a chest harness here for this this video. It makes life a little bit easier for me. Here's Repo Men. It's Return to Oz. Riddick. The Road. Red Sun. Red Planet. The Reaping. Hilary Swank horror film. Here's my Blockbuster box sets edition of the Rocky collection. Pretty awesome set. The Remaining. Road to Perdition. Here's Raw Deal. That's Red Heat. Ragnarok. The Rookie. The Reef, which was just announced by Umbrella. Rio Bravo. Rampage, the Dwayne Johnson flick. The Right Stuff. RoboCop remake. The Relic. And I have a little Raro video collection, Shrine. That's Waves of Lust DVD. This is The Long Hair of Death. Werewolf Woman. Revenge of the Blood Beast. Night of the Devils, one of my favorites. Hanging for Django. Sacrifice from Umberto Lenzi. I think it's also called Man from Deep River. Lenzi's first cannibal flick, 1972. Slaughter Hotel, Fernando De Leo. Death Occurred Last Night. This is a Fernando De Leo Italian crime collection and volume 2. This is Iguana, Monty Hellman movie. Perfume of the Lady in Black. And Stunt Squad. Alright, let me grab my chair for this section. I don't do any cuts or edits to these videos. These are just off the fly, as they say. Alright, so here we've got Roommates. Rogue. Danish edition on Steelbook. Ruby. Real Genius. Rover. Sorry if the angle on this shot isn't the best. The best. Real steel. There's Rescue from Gilligan's Island on 4K of all things. Red Sparrow. The Ring. The Runaways. Run Lola Run. Short Night of Glass Dolls. Great Jolly. And my Star Trek collection, starting with the motion picture. Star Trek 2, 3, The Voyage Home, Final Frontier, Undiscovered Country, and then we have Generations, Insurrection, and First Contact, and of course Nemesis. Star Trek 10, Star Trek The Reboot, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Strange New World Season 1. I don't think I can get in Season 2. Here's Stargate. Shackleton, the A&E series by Kenneth Branagh. Great series. It's The Substance. Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2 on 4K. From 101 Films. Skyscraper. Shutter Island. Signs. The Sixth Sense. Stir of Echoes. Spartacus. The Searchers. Here is Some Kind of Wonderful. The Shining. That's 7. Sin City. Sin City Part 2. I think. Or actually, this is just a variant of the original. Space Cowboys. Great movie with Clint Eastwood in space, and Super 8 Metal Pack Edition. Down here, we've got my Scorpion collection, starting with Deep Space. And there's Death Warrant, Robot Holocaust, Rituals, Phantom of the Opera, Shredder. Here's Grizzly, Who Stopped the Rain, Mummy's Revenge, Lone Wolf McQuade, Human Experiments, The Card Player, Trackdown, Humongous, The Mechanic, The Mafu Cage, The Unseen, Too Scared to Scream, Tower of Evil, Jalo and Venice, Sleepless, Heavenly Kid, Raw Courage, The Return, Pretty Smart, Where the Boys Are, 84, Rain Killer, Pom Pom Girls, Fraternity Vacation, Death Before Dishonor, Aloha Bobby and Rose, The Beach Girls, Day of the Animals, Frankenhooker. Wait, this is Synapse. Get out of there. That's Synapse. Dogs, City on Fire, Eye of the Tiger, Firepower, Island Claws, Shadow Play, Shark's Treasure. Yeah, Scorpion. Gotta make sure now. Screamers, good movie. The Killing Time, Small Town in Texas, The Glass House, Go Tell the Spartans, I Stand Alone. This is Opposing Force, Cave Girl, or Cover Girl, Killer Fish, Jennifer, 3:15, The Moment of Truth, Teen Witch, Time Guardian, Time Travelers, Torment, Gas Pump Girls, and Act of Vengeance. Continuing with Scorpion, we got Johnny Be Cool, LA Bounty, Land of Doom, Last Seduction, Moon in Scorpio, The Killing Box, Monster Dog, Caravan to Vicaris, Night Visitor, Space Raiders, Talking Walls, Hard Country, Spasmo, Sorceress, Short Eyes, Stripped to Kill, Almost Summer, Island of the Blue Dolphins, 10 Little Indians, Hotel Colonial, The Peace Killers, POW, The Escape, Haunting of Morella, My Tutor, The Octagon, Walk Proud, To All a Good Night, Omega Syndrome, Night Patrol, Night Terror. There's Mom, The Monster Club, Lady Ice, Last Rites, and Curse 3. Obviously, these are not in any alphabet. They're not in alphabetical order, but they don't really need to be for me. I'm fine with just having them disorganized in this way, but as long as they're in one section, that's fine. Here's the Stargate Arc of Truth motion picture. Here's my Star Wars Complete Saga box set. Rogue One, The Last Jedi, it's the Rise of Skywalker, and Solo. Speed, 4K. Spear. Saw. Complete Saw collection. Saw X or 10. Stardust. Still sealed. Here's Starship Troopers. And Stripes. Down at the bottom we have the Sting. A movie I have not seen yet. Sherlock Holmes. Game of Shadows. Here's the first Scream. Scream 2. Scream 3. Four. Scream 5. Or just the Scream. And the 6th film. Scream 6. Stand By Me. Down there's the Superman collection box set. Sicario, the first film. The sequel. Here's Seven Samurai, which I imported from the UK. Nice hardbox edition. Schindler's List. Fantastic edition from Film Arena. Not the kind of film you throw on for entertainment value. It's more of a historical piece, and because it's so well made, you can't help but admire the film, the filmmaking, and it's an extraordinary film, really. That deserved all of its Oscars and prizes, and this wonderful edition is part of my collection, and it's a prized part of my collection, and it's got other things, but I'm not gonna take everything out. Some art cards there, collector's cards, and a booklet. A pretty substantial edition of a very important film depicting one of the 20th century's worst tragedies. As awful as that was, nobody should forget that it happened. Here's Safe House. These are fingerprint magnets. These very glossy steel books. Stephen King's The Stand. I'm pretty impressed with what Paramount was able to achieve with this. This is the original TV series from the 90s. I don't know if it was shot on film or just edited on video, but it's for a while. It's for a long time. It seemed like this was not doable on even Blu-ray. There was just a DVD available of it, and Paramount a few years ago came out with this restoration on Blu-ray, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, and I'm very impressed with it. This is one of my favorite Stephen King series. It's a 6-hour extravaganza. So it's a fantastic series, and it looks very good on Blu-ray. And it says so right there, brilliantly restored, and I'm happy it's available on Blu-ray. Great series. Here's A Star Is Born. Gorgeous steelbook. Very nice. Very, very nice. Saving Private Ryan. Another fantastic Spielberg historical epic. This is an O-ring slipcover. Comes right off. And that's the booklet. That's the steelbook. Nothing special, but nice spot gloss there. Contains the 4K and the Blu-ray and some cards. Yep, Saving Private Ryan. Here's a version of Snowpiercer, the Bong Joon-ho film. Fantastic Bong Joon-ho film. Snowpiercer. And I have the Lionsgate edition on 4K.